Hello, my name is Katie DeLibero, and I thoroughly enjoyed this activity. I enjoyed that Dixie had us do something creative, and I enjoyed thinking about my future and planning it because I have never had a chance to do that before. I've had my whole life planned out for me, and this is the first time I'm planning it myself. So it's not really clear what I'm going to do in 5 years. It is clear what I love and what I don't love and what I want and what I don't want. So I'm going to start with my quote. My quote came from an anonymous teacher. I've come to the frightening conclusion that I am the decisive element in the classroom. It is my daily mood that makes the weather. As a teacher, I possess tremendous power to make a child's life miserable or joyous. I can be a tool of torture or an instrument of inspiration. I can humiliate, or humor, hurt, or heal. In all situations, it is my response that decides whether a crisis will be escalated or de-escalated, and a child humanized or dehumanized. And that's why this collage is mostly based on myself. This is me doing some yoga in Crystal Bay. I think it's something I'm dealing with right now that I'm very reactive. I can be just like the center point. When I'm on fire in a classroom, I've got everybody's attention, and the thing just goes so well. And when I'm having a bad day, if I can't bring myself to be that animator, the whole class is just a lull. So I want to be able to control my emotions. I want to get that EQ. I've got the IQ. I also want to be a model. I believe in modeling. I believe that I want to help people to make choices like this little girl sitting in front of a refrigerator, much like what Maggie said. Make proper choices about what you eat and what you consume. Maybe just to think about it. I want to have people to think about it, have my students think about a more world focus and how their impact really affects the world. Here's another quote. We didn't inherit this planet from our ancestors. We merely borrowed it from our children. Here's another one. This woman, the creative force. I want to also be a model of being a woman who is powerful, but not necessarily in the male sense of being powerful and not dictatorial nor intimidating, but gentle and creative, and how powerful that can really be. So I'm striving to be there. I put a picture of this guy skiing because I think extreme sports put that in people's heads, ooh, it's extreme. And it's because they constantly have people looking at fears and facing their fears and examining them and then going off that cliff, taking that dive. And I think that's what we have to do in our classrooms, is to push people into that growth area. So they're examining their fears, not necessarily getting to the point where they can't even live and they feel suffocated, but they're just examining. This is the classroom I want. I want to be outdoors. I do not want to be in a classroom with fluorescent lights and 35 children. I want to be teaching outdoors, and I want it to be experiential ed. So these two girls pointing at something in the water and just feeling really excited about it. This is what I do right now in my work. I work for a nonprofit called the Venture Risk Challenge, and we take youth, 14, 15 years old, into the outdoors, and we teach them about environmental science, and we also teach them literacy, English. So, what else? Colombia. Colombia was the place that I finally learned to be happy. And there's all these people who have been going through 40 years of civil war, and they're happy. They live every day like it's their last, and then they're happy, and that was nice to me. And then lastly, this is a little portrait that one of the students that I used to work with at a wilderness therapy program that I worked for shortly made me. They fired me there really quick because they found out that I was into empowering the youth, and that's not what that was about. So this is a little reminder that that's what I stand for. Thank you.
We need a picture.
My big folder.
1, 2, 3.
It doesn't.
Okay, let's do it next week so we can have 3 people for next week. That'd be good.